Hey guys, welcome to the Positive Experience podcast, where we look at the good, the bad and the ugly in living your best life. Today's segment is on the H.E.A.D'S. The acronym stands for Health Experts and Disruptors. Let's dive in. Hey guys, how you going? My guest today on the Positive Experience podcast is Allyssa. Hey Allyssa, how are you?
Hi Leki, I'm doing good. And you?
That's the way. Good, thanks. Good, thanks. And today's segment is on the H.E.A.D'S. And the H.E.A.D'S is an acronym that stands for Health Experts and Disruptors. And Allyssa is definitely a disruptor because there was a period of time where we were catching up regularly because she injured her knee, and we're going to talk all about that. But before we do, Allyssa, I'd like you to start by just telling us in the next 1 or 2 minutes about your origin story, like where you were born and where you were raised, so that way we can get an idea of who you are as a person.
No worries. So I was born in Los Angeles, in California, in the States. I was there for a while. Sorry.
That's okay.
And I went to school there. I was playing basketball then. And I moved here to Melbourne, Australia in 2010. Been here ever since. Lived a couple of years here too. Graduated at the Grange. And yeah.
Cool. So born in the States, hence the American accent, which is cool. And you're a baller too, so you played basketball and been playing for a long, long time. So the way that I came across you was through two ways, through our friends at Iron Armour Academy, plus through your knee injury, okay? So can you tell me a bit about what happened to your knee?
So I got injured playing a quarterfinal at league, playing club here in Melbourne. And when I was running the ball, I got stopped by a couple of girls. And when they tackled me, I kind of fell backwards and they fell on top of me while my knee was bent and caught under them. So I couldn't pull my leg out. And then I knew, I felt the snap. And yeah, that's how it happened.
So you got sandwiched between some big boppers, unfortunately. But, you were saying you played basketball. And had you played rugby for a little while, or tell us that story?
So I've been playing basketball since I was little. I guess I was probably 7. And I didn't start playing basketball until I was here in Melbourne actually, until I was in year 9. So don't know how old I was then.
So it's about 10 years, I reckon. 6 to 16.
Yeah, 16 is probably when I picked it up. But yeah, ever since I was at a different school then, but as soon as I moved to the Grange, I found that they were playing rugby and they were looking for girls, and I was like, oh, why not give it a go? And then just kept playing basketball and rugby ever since.
Okay, so you're pretty busy playing basketball and rugby. Then you played rugby league, and then unfortunately got the accident. You just tell us about that, because a lot of people that I see in the clinic as a physio, they're not sure if it's a real pain, if it's something that they should pay attention to, or if it's something serious. So how did you know when you did it that it was serious?
So when I got tackled from the girls, I felt a snap in my leg, and then just this rush of pain just came at my knee, and it was just really hurting at the moment. And then as soon as I got up, I wasn't walking the same, and then I felt something weird in my knee, and that's when I kind of knew something was wrong, and it was swelling up straight away as well.
Wow. Okay, so there are some signs. So it was sharp pain. It didn't feel right. It felt unstable, and it was really, really swollen. And so from a physio perspective, those are the 3 things that we look for. So guys at home, if you have sharp pain plus swelling, plus it's really unstable, high chance you did something pretty serious. So when you did that and you're on the field, how soon was it that you got to see somebody for help? Like, did you go to the hospital straight away? Did you get some scans straight away? Tell us about that.
Oh, so what I did, and I shouldn't have done it, when I got hurt, I was pulled off to the sideline. I was given some ice as well. And I was just sitting for a couple of minutes. So I started to feel fine. Physio just strapped up my knee. They thought it would be fine. And then I jumped right back on the field and I kept going.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How long did you
So
last?
literally only 2 minutes.
Yeah. Not good.
They put
Not
me
good.
at fullback. Someone came and ran at me. I tried to tackle them and my knee went again. So that's when I knew I had to stop and get off the field.
Yeah. And if you had your time again, what would you have done differently, do you think?
I should have stopped straight away as soon as I knew.
Yeah.
Probably see a GP, probably see the physio again
Okay.
and tell him it's not right. And yeah.
Yeah. Just you would have pushed harder probably, knowing what you know now, not to risk it, eh? So
Yeah.
look, I think that's one of these things, this is the first time I'm thinking you've had a serious injury like this, so you're never sure.
Yeah.
So, but now that you're at the other end, we'd all make different decisions. So, I'll link to this podcast, the actual blog chain. There's 5 parts to the blog chain, so we don't have to revisit every step of the way. I just wanted to share with everyone, a real story. This is someone that injured her knee. So, from when you injured your knee, when did you actually have the surgery?
So from when I injured my knee to the surgery time, I've had some complications. I went to see GPs. They thought it wasn't an ACL. They thought it wasn't serious. So they gave me 2 weeks off to see how it was. It wasn't getting any better. The only thing that kind of got better was the swelling, but it still wasn't good. So I went to see the GP again, and they still thought, it wasn't serious. It wasn't ACL. So they gave me another week off. So then that whole time, they said it was nothing serious. I didn't have to worry about it. Still wasn't feeling better. So I saw a different GP, and then he straight away said it was an ACL. You should have taken care of it straight away. And I was already like a month later.
Wow.
Saw some GPs, and then they said straight away that I need surgery, and then it would have taken a couple of months. So I'd say roughly it was from July all the way up to October. I got my surgery in October this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was October 2018, guys, just so that you're aware. So October 2018, Alyssa went in and
Yeah,
finally.
sorry.
That's okay. And she went and had her surgery. And then it was about soon after that you came by to the physio clinic, and then we started your rehab process, which was really good. Obviously, you got mucked around and you lost time. It was a big waste of time, not getting the right advice early days. But again, in the blog post, it just spells out what you had done in the 9 months. So if you were so I would encourage people that are watching this, just check out that blog post, that chain. It really breaks it down with videos on what Alyssa did. But could you summarize what that 9 months of rehab was like for you, Alyssa? Like, how did you feel with our friends over at Ace Performance? I know you were being managed over there, plus with some physio. How would you put that all in a nutshell?
Honestly, I just knew that I had to get it better because I kept my head in the right mindset. Like I wanted to keep playing and staying positive as well. So I knew how to do whatever it took, and I had you with physio giving me a lot of exercises to keep up with, how many times a day, I also had ACE performance in the city at Amy Park, you know, keep me on my toes, giving me exercises as well to keep up with. And I guess constantly going, like I've been going not every day, but nearly most of the days of the week, keeping my head in that mindset, just keep going. And that kind of kept me positive to, you know, keep getting better. And that felt really good.
Absolutely. So what Alyssa's talking about is she had people that she was accountable to, like with Nick Longhurst and the guys and her comrades that she's in there training with at Ace Performance. You really feel like you're a part of something. I've been there and seen the equipment that they have. It's awesome. Plus, I think with Allyssa, there may be some other things that can help keep you grounded, like your support networks around you, your family, perhaps. And we did our little bit as a physio to help you with your rehabilitation. I can say that when Allyssa was given something, she did it. That really helps from our end as a perspective, as a professional, because we can give you all this great advice, but really, when you're away from here, it's up to you to do the work. And Allyssa definitely did the work. So much so that when she had her surgery in October, 3 months later, or a bit earlier than that, we actually got her running really early, safely, and it was all with the surgeon's approval. And then when she was running, she was able to do some change of direction running, some more heavier lifts in the gym at Ace Performance at Amy Park. And these things sort of build on top of each other, because when you feel like your body's improving, you're getting stronger, you're running around, it makes you feel even more positive. I think the darkest times are the early days. The first 3 months is usually the hardest time that I find with people, because you're just fresh out of surgery, you're walking around with crutches, you're relying on other people, you feel kind of worthless, and it's a really dark place. And I see that all the time. And what I can say with Allyssa, like she had those same things. I could see she had those demons that she had to battle, but she persisted. And so would you agree, Allyssa? Like, did you feel that darkness too in the early days and, moments of
Yeah, 100%. I felt that as soon as I came home from the hospital, that's when I had my whole family taking care of me, getting me to get off my feet. I felt bad, like I couldn't help at all. And then seeing other people, still continuing their sport, that kind of brought me down even more. But yeah, but with the support of my family, I just kept a happy mindset and knew that everything was going to be fine.
Man, that's awesome. And I think the last little plug that I have for Allyssa too is that she persisted. I think with a lot of young athletes, especially ones of Pacific Island origin, is if you cop an injury early and when you're young, you feel like it's game over. And it's just a big pat on the back here for Allyssa, because she had one of the most serious injuries, an ACL. She worked hard, got her way back. And I'd like to transition to where you got to. So I don't want to give it away too much, but could you tell us about what your summer of 2019 and your rugby stuff in 2020 before COVID? Tell me what you got up to.
So, towards the end of my recovery, I had some opportunities open up, as well as like an open trial for the Canberra Brumbies, the women's Super W team. They were doing open trials, and I thought, why not give it a go and see how I go. I guess it was just that step to take it was kind of like daunting on me. But as soon as I got there, I knew I just had to go for it. So from that time, I was just trialing, and then I made the train on the squad, and I just kept training and training to actually made the squad. It was pretty tough out there. I stayed out in Canberra while I was training too. But yeah, it just led up to actually being able to debut on one of the games. It wasn't much minutes, but it was still a thrilling moment to be able to play on a field, in that professional level, to get the experience. But it was just amazing.
Man, I would be pumping that up big time. Don't worry about the minutes you played. You got to that professional level. And, it's a taste of more things to come. I know COVID's been a big challenge, but if anything's taught me about what you've been able to achieve so far is you've been able to stay strong and resilient regardless of the curveballs that get thrown your way. So an opportunity to Canberra, that meant you had to move to Canberra, away from family, your support network, and you're up to the challenge, and you're rewarded with your hard work and grafting with getting some minutes in the Super W competition for the ACT Brumbies. So, man, you can't imagine how happy that makes me feel because you were persistent. I think the theme that I'd like to just address for a lot of athletes young athletes that are looking to progress in their careers, it's not handed to you. It's not a silver plate. If you're playing a contact sport, there's a chance you will get injured. And Alyssa's testimony here is that, you persist and you want it badly enough, you work towards it and you can get a professional game time. How good's that? So I don't mean to, Alyssa's being really humble here, but I just want to do the bragging for her because I understand how much hard work it takes. So it's just, again, a big pat on the back. Now, before we head down the home stretch here, Alyssa, I'm just going to share my screen and I'm just going to show people where they can find this blog post, which I know this looks like 2 years ago kind of thing, but if you just go to our website, www.prophysioplus.com.au, and you'll find that on the side here, there's written by Leki, you'll find this whole chain of a 5-part series on Alyssa's knee rehabilitation. Okay, there's videos, there's photos, all that sort of jazz. And if you click here, it goes back in time. So where we left off last was about 9 months post-op. So now it's about 2 years since she actually had the surgery. So just drop through there and check out the blog post. That's where you can find all the good stuff about Allyssa and her knee. Okay, so where I'd like to maybe bring it down the home stretch now, Allyssa, is maybe give us an idea of what your crystal ball looks like. So obviously this year's had its challenges. With your knee, is there any type of ongoing stuff that you do to make sure it stays well? Like, have you got a bit of a home setup? Because in my mind, right, if you have a serious knee injury like that, once you've done all the rehab, if you're going back to playing, do you forget about your knee and you just be normal, or do you put some extra effort in because you've had a knee problem in the past?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I did slack off like as soon as I hit that professional level. I thought my knee was fine. There wasn't gonna be any worries. But yeah. Then I started noticing, like I said, I did get some pains coming back in my knee. So I just continued to do the band exercises that I've been given before the injury. I just kept doing those again. Also doing a lot of single leg, like body weight exercises to keep it strong. And then yeah, just make sure you stay on top of that. Do not slack off.
There you go, guys. Someone that's at top level and has had an ACL reconstruction and got some minutes and played, still has some mild knee issues, and so it still needs work to maintain. Okay, so I think this has been really helpful for me because I can use this as ammunition for people who try and think that they've done the work and then can afford to drop off. You might feel normal, you just won't be able to perform the same, and you may come up a bit sort of rusty. And Alyssa's nodding her head there, so she agrees.
Yeah.
You've done all this hard work to get there, and now that you're here, just think of it as just activating the knee and keeping it happy so you can run and swivel and do the things that you want to do, whether it be rugby, basketball, volleyball, whatever you choose to play. So before we finish up here today, Alyssa, I'd love to give you the opportunity to just send a message out, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be about your knee injury. It might be pursuing your goals in life. It doesn't have to be sport, or maybe it is about sport. What would be a message that you as a young person would like to share with somebody else that's maybe in a dark spot because they've just injured their ACL?
Well, all that I can think of in my head is like, don't think it's like the end of the road of what you want to pursue or you want to aim to get in life. Just keep going. Just know that you're not the only one. There's other people out there too. Just keep going hard, working hard, stay in that environment, Just what you want to pursue, that's what you want to pursue. Just keep going, go for it, get it. And during my whole injury stage, I always had a quote that I kept in my head, and it was, I'm just gonna say it, but the quote that I kept going through the whole year was, don't let your setbacks cause you to sit back, but let it repair you for a better comeback. So that will actually keep saying that. I kept saying that in my head, and it just got me to where I am.
Man, that's awesome. Thanks for that. So I think that's a great place to stop this informal catch up today with you, Alyssa, and I really appreciate your testimony today. What I would like to do is point people again to the resources that we put together regarding Alyssa's knee rehabilitation. And if you find that there's any, like, in short, I think with injuries, 20% of it is physical, 80% of it is mental. Like, there's this big mental game in your head that you play. And if you can have as much support and as much advice and information as Alyssa's speaking to us about today, it can really allow you in being successful. So I really appreciate your time and your expertise today, Alyssa. And for you guys at home, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. As always, making it simple. Have a great day. Catch you later, guys.